before we can even start applying this makeup, we need to do our prep work and create some prosthetics. We're gonna make some nice, cool, like fish type ears for our mermaid, and I started doing this with about a half-inch piece of clay that I flattened out, and then I started drawing out a shape of like a fish fin, so I went with a 3-pronged little fin, and then I started drawing in the lines as the scales of the fin, you know? So how like when you look at a fish, they have like those spiny edges. So I went with a big brush and I started just going in and adding those, making deep spines. So there's a lot of texture and there's a lot of just depth to the fin. So we can add some cool painting details later, but I thought this would just be really cool. And then I went and started just smoothing out the edges, making sure there wasn't really any harsh lines. So like towards the bottom, I wanted to make sure all the lines were continuous and that they weren't like just kind of abruptly stopping. I wanted to make sure that the ears were like really smooth and would just go to the face really nicely. So again, just go and make sure you're smoothing out the ends, making sure there's no harsh edges, because this will make application a lot easier for you. And then I just poured in some latex and I just kind of blended it out. I didn't want to do too much latex because I didn't want super thick ears. I wanted to keep it kind of thin and like flowy, kind of like a Goldine, you know? So I wanted to make sure there was still those spinage, but the rest of it was like very light and airy. So I just went in and smoothed it out with my fingers, just kind of letting it go off to the sides a little bit, because we can just always go in and trim that later. So just go and smooth it out and let it sit overnight. Once it starts looking a little yellowy and all compact, it's dry, so just pour some powder on it and very carefully peel. And as you peel, just pour more powder so it's not so sticky and it doesn't stick to itself, and just keep pouring the powder and just peeling it back little by little. I think this took me in total almost like 5 to 10 minutes to peel it completely, because I wanted to make sure that it was just all one piece and looked nice. So just keep pouring and pulling and adding more powder until you can pull it all out. And then once you've got it out, I'm sorry this is so zoomed in, I wasn't even paying attention, just take some scissors and trim off any of the extra weird edges that are going on. Just make sure you're kind of making it all nice and even. It's okay to add a little bit of the extra latex that went around because it kind of adds to that flowy fin effect, but you still want to keep it kind of clean because you don't want to just kind of look messy. And now we get to the fun part, the actual application. You're going to start off completely bare in the face and start blocking out those brows. I'm going in with a glue stick and I'm just applying a thick coat in circular motions, and I'm just kind of spreading it upwards with my hair to really smooth it out. And then I'm just pressing on a powder to get rid of some stickiness, covering it with concealer to get rid of any of the darkness, and blending it out because, you know, we don't want just big humps of white on our face. It's going to make that look weird too. And then I'm going to start going in and applying my fins. So I'm going in with a special effects adhesive, and I'm just kind of pressing that all over the side of where I'm going to put my ear by my ear, but not making sure it's not in my hair, because like that would not be fun at all. Getting that out of your hair is almost impossible. So be really careful around your hairline. And then I'm applying more of that glue to the back of the actual prosthetic, letting it dry and get a little tacky. And then I'm going to set it right where we put the glue before. So I put it like towards the cheek in front of where my ears are, kind of lining it up with my eyes, if that keeps as a measurement. And I'm just going to hold it down and let it sit for a little bit and dry, and then start adding more of that adhesive around the edges of the prosthetic, just so we can blend it into the skin, and also it just has more security. And then once that's all dry, just set it with a powder and it's ready to go to start being painted. Now I'm going in with some white foundation, and I mixed in a tiny bit of a rose goldy pink pearly pigment into it, and I'm going to start applying that all over my face and my ears and my body. With the ears, I'm just doing a very light wash because it's the very airy, light, like base of the ear fin. There's going to be a lot more added to that. And I'm just covering my body with it. Now, I know you'll notice there's stuff on my neck. Ignore that. I take it off. It's okay to make mistakes in makeup. If you don't like something, just remove it. Then I'm going in with a minty blue cream paint, and I'm just applying this to the outer portion of my body, ombreing it into the pink that we have, and kind of applying it around the contours of my face. I'm really building up this blue. This is just a nice, just kind of difference between the pinkish and the blue. You know how a lot of fish have like the outside is different than the inside of their colors. That's what I was going for here. And then I'm going onto the higher points of my ears, and I'm applying the blue only to the high points. It is just, again, another nice wash. And then I started to realize that I was kind of looking like a Vaporeon, and I think we need to add a little bit more color. So I went in with a darker periwinkle shadow, and I started adding some depth and more contouring to the face. Really digging in that, and then just setting everything with a powder. Now we're going to start moving on to the eyes. I'm going back into that same periwinkle shadow that I was using to deepen my contour, and I'm running that through where my brows actually sit, and I'm applying this and really fading it out. I really want it to blow out, and then I'm just kind of really focusing it into the edges of my nose, adding a little bit of a nose contour, kind of making it all one, and just really blending it out and blowing it out. Bring it down to my lower lash line as well, and just really blowing out that color. I used a blending brush for all of this, so it was really nice and blown out and faded. Then I took a more tealy bright blue, and I started deepening up the crease with that, really just adding a little bit more color and brightness to this, because I really wanted just a little bit more into the eyes than just the periwinkle and then what I did with it later. So I went in with that teal and just really blew it out everywhere. Then I wanted to do a light wash of like a purpley pink shadow all over the lid, just kind of as like a base and a transition for the next pigment we are going to be adding. Just a nice light wash, which then I'm going in with that same pigment that I used to mix in with the foundation. It's just this beautiful gold color, and was kind of the inspo for the rest of what I do with this look. I took a whole different turn once I added this color, honestly, and I just really focused that on the inner corners of the eye, bringing it down to like my eye bags, really covering it, and then I just went crazy and I used it as my blush. If you watch me on this channel, you know I love some nose blush, so of course I had to add it there, and then I just added it everywhere on the cheeks. And I just loved how this color looked with all these blues. Like, it was, I don't know, I was obsessed, and I was applying it everywhere. Blending it out throughout my cheeks, my nose, my chin. I put some in like ears. Like, I was just going ham with this color. But like, it's just so pretty in the light. And then I really made sure I was running that through the lower portions of the ears, because this is like the bottom scale part. So wherever it isn't blue, I started going in with that pink color, just really making it pop. And then I took the same periwinkle eyeshadow we used on the eyes, and I rubbed that on my lips for my lip color, because I kind of blended it in with the white we already had there as the nice base. So I used that color because I really wanted a light wash on the lip. I didn't want a full impact lip. And so I just kind of blended that out with my finger, and then I went back in with that pink pigment because I'm obsessed with it, and I did a lollipop lip around it, kind of just adding some more depth and texture and just fun. I don't know, I really just liked how these colors look together, so I really went in around there. And then I just added some of that pink color to the top of my forehead, kind of pretty much anywhere the blue met the white, I added the pink to the edge and blended it around. So I did that on my chest, on my forehead, pretty much everywhere. Then I took a texturing sponge and I went in with a berry pink cream paint, and then I started applying this all over where I have the blue. This is just going to add some texture and scaling to the skin, a little bit of freckling, and I just really went in heavy-handed and just started going in adding texture wherever there was blue. Wherever the blue met the pink, there was texture. And I brought that down throughout my neck and my shoulders, really just kind of making sure everything was nice and cohesive. I wanted this berry pink to kind of be everywhere in the look because I was kind of obsessed with how it looked. And then of course I had to put it throughout actual freckling of the face underneath the blush, because I just feel like freckles make every look even cuter than it already is. Like, is that just me or what? I just love freckling. And then I brought it around the mouth as well, adding a little bit more texture and just fun to it. Then I took a white jumbo eye pencil and I just ran it throughout my lower lash line, really focusing it on the center of the eye, thicker on the center than on the outer, and making sure I coated all of my lower lashes white because I just didn't want lower lashes. I wanted the eyes nice and bright. And then I decided to go back in with the sponge I was using and break up some of the pink with some white freckles as well. Just a little bit more depth and texture. I just feel like white also just adds some more fun to it and light and airiness. So like we had just nice breaks of color between the blues and the pinks and the teals. And because lately I've been really obsessed with like glitter and paint tears, I took a gold paint and just started drawing some gold tears underneath the eye, just kind of going in and adding a little bit of cute layer. I don't know, tears just look pretty to me. This kind of just was me having fun. I didn't have really a full plan, I just wanted to create. And then I took that same berry pink that we used around with the freckling, and I'm adding that to the tips of the ears and really lightly washing it into the blues. We want this to really just kind of fade in and ombre in, because this is just the tips. It's not anywhere else. It's just the tips of the ears have the pink, so you really just want to lightly airy brush it. And then I applied a periwinkle glitter to the center of the lips because I felt like this look just needed some glitter. You know what I mean? I love glitter. And then I started topping off everything with a bluey green duochrome highlighter. And I just applied it to the high points of my face, so meaning like the tip of my nose, my cheekbones, my cupid's bow, my chin, my forehead. This just adds a little bit more scaly underwater effect too, so you're kind of like glistening. I don't know, I just thought it looked really pretty with the look. And then I put on my wig because I wanted to kind of get a more cohesive feel of how this look was finishing up, because I felt like if I stayed bald, I would have kept adding more and more and more. And I applied coats of mascara to my upper lashes. I'm not touching the lower lash line again because I wanted to keep it light, bright-eyed, and open. And then I applied some, not too extreme, but, you know, a little bit extra type of lashes. And then I went back in with that gold and I really just accentuated those tears more. I really wanted to make sure that they were just the star of the show because I just love how pretty it looks. I don't know. And then I took a little bit of it and applied it to the end of my lip, the bottom of my lip, because I wanted to tie in a little bit more gold than just in the tears. I just feel like it needed a little bit more oomph. And that's the finished look. I really love how this came out. This was just so much fun to sit and play with color again, and I just love it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel because I would just be really rad of you guys. This video is serving as my entry to the NYX Face Awards, so just send some good vibes that maybe I'll make it this year. That'd be really cool. Thank you again for watching. Stay lovely. Bye!